In the quiet countryside, where time moves gently with the rustling leaves and birdsong, a remarkable bond was forged between a man and a creature of the wild. It began one afternoon when a retired man named Walter noticed a strange movement in his backyard. As he approached cautiously, he was stunned to find a young deer collapsed on the grass, trembling and bleeding from an arrow wound lodged in its side. Whoever had fired the arrow had left it for dead, but fate had brought the wounded animal to Walter's doorstep instead. Without hesitation, Walter gently lifted the deer, carrying it into his home. He laid it on a blanket in his garage, cleaned the wound, and carefully removed the arrow. With no nearby wildlife rescue center, he resolved to care for the deer himself. Day after day, he administered antibiotics, fed it soft fruits, and whispered soothing words as the deer slowly began to trust him. He named it Willow. Weeks turned into months. Willow began walking again, nibbling grass in the garden and curiously exploring the man's property. During that time, Walter found himself changed. He spoke to the deer each morning, smiled more often, and felt a renewed sense of purpose. In Willow's eyes, he found both innocence and resilience. Eventually, the time came when Walter knew he had to let Willow return to the wild. One crisp morning, he opened the garden gate and stood silently as Willow stepped into the forest. She paused, turned her head, and looked at him, a silent thank you, then disappeared into the trees. Walter missed her dearly. His days felt quieter, a little emptier. But 2 weeks later, something extraordinary happened. He heard soft rustling near the edge of the trees. When he looked up, his heart nearly stopped. There stood Willow, and beside her were 2 other deer. They stood still, watching him with calm eyes. Walter stepped forward, tears brimming. Willow approached and gently nuzzled his hand. It was as if she had brought her friends to show them the human who had saved her, to share a piece of her life with the man who had once healed her. From that day on, the deer visited often. Sometimes they stood quietly in his yard. Other times, they lay under the tree near his porch, watching the sunset with him. Walter no longer felt alone. For him, Willow was never just a wild animal. She was a gift, a companion, a living reminder that kindness never vanishes. It echoes through the lives it touches.